what's up? My name is Daniela and welcome to a new video. So today is an exciting day because I'm starting a new video series that is called Book Confusion, and in this series I will be reading books or authors that I confused with each other that caused me some confusion, and we are going to be reading these books and we are going to be clearing that confusion once and for all. So we're having episode 1 today, and in some of these episodes it might be a bit hyperbolic that I confuse these books, you know, like sometimes I might be a bit exaggerating, but in this case I actually confused these two books when I heard about them, and they are I Captured a Castle by Dodie Smith and We Have Always Lived in a Castle by Shirley Jackson. Now, if you know anything about these books or if you have read them, it might seem like weird that I confused these two, but for me they were kind of vaguely modern classics that I didn't know anything about. They both have the word castle in the title, and yeah, I didn't know anything about them. So I will be reading these two books. Hopefully I will enjoy at least one of them. I already know if I did, and you will find out in a minute. And hopefully I will never confuse these two ever again. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I have started I Captured a Castle by Dodie Smith. I really hope you can't hear my neighbor upstairs blasting Czech folklore music, because that is what I'm going through day and night. It's a lot. I can always hear a TV. But anyway, I started reading this book and I'm learning things. So this has been first published in 1948, but it takes place in the 30s, so in 1934. And I was shocked to find out that she's actually the author of 100, what is it called? The 101 Dalmatians. Also, side note, I just googled like just to check how to pronounce Dalmatians, and there was like the sound icon, and I clicked on it and it wasn't the pronunciation, it was like the sound of the barking of the dog. So that's quite hilarious. I haven't read the 101 Dalmatians, but that's something that even in Central Europe or in the Czech Republic we know about. Like, I think when I went to like elementary school we went to see the film. Whereas I just found out that this book actually hasn't been translated into Czech, if I'm correct in my research. So that's kind of clears some part of my confusion, because it kind of seems that people from the UK or the US know about this book. Maybe it's even mentioned in school, I don't know. But yeah, I've never heard about it, I don't think, like before I joined BookTube, and people occasionally talked about it. But now, like all of this time, I actually knew her because like she wrote the book that the movie about the Dalmatians were based on. So that's something. So I started reading this and I still didn't know anything about it. I didn't even read the back. So I'm just like situating myself. So it is written in a diary style, and we follow this 17-year-old named Cassandra, and she starts the diary and she tells us that they live in a castle because her father is renting the castle, but the mother died like 8 years ago or something like that, and since then the father kind of stopped working. He used to be a writer, now he doesn't work, so the family basically has no income and they're quite poor. I'm already on page 170 and so far not that much has happened. So we kind of learned about the family history, and there are a lot of descriptions of the castle. Maybe it's just me, but I can't like fully picture everything she's describing. So it's like a castle that is like half in ruins, and then there's like a house which they live in. But yeah, I mean, the first sentence is, I write this sitting in the kitchen sink, so that immediately like is stimulating your fantasy and imagination. So far it's really sweet. Cassandra is quite funny in her diary entries, and yeah, it's interesting to see the event through her eyes. She's 17 and kind of having grown up quite secluded. Yeah, it's kind of a coming of age story. She's still kind of half a kid, but also almost an adult. And yeah, now we have like kind of Pride and Prejudice-esque development. So there are two men, relatively young, and now it's like okay, like her sister could like marry one of them and that could like help them from the poverty. And she's 17, so kind of like in that time, maybe too young, maybe not. The sister is like 21, I think. Most of it has been quite slice of lifey about their everyday life, living at the castle, in the castle. But yeah, they also had some fun adventures, like when they went to London for like a family business affair. And yeah, that was really entertaining. Well, hello, I have finished We Have Always Lived in the Castle last night. I started this book on the 19th of November and today is the 7th of December, so it took me quite a long time. Yeah, I was traveling and then now I'm kind of sick, so yeah, maybe I got a little slumpy, but yeah, I mean, it is quite long, but still, like, ideally it wouldn't take me this long. But anyway, in the end, I really enjoyed it. So final thoughts are that it's a little bit like Pride and Prejudice, but set in the 1930s, and it's young adult. Cassandra is 17 and yeah, it's all her diary and she reads a bit younger than 17. As a kid, as a teenager, she was quite relatable, so yeah, it was nice following her thoughts, but in the second half it got a little bit slow, a little bit maybe too long. At some parts it just got really slice of lifey, which I usually like, but yeah, not that many things were happening, but when they were happening, they were good stuff. So it's a lot about poverty and family relationships and first love, and yeah, for me what really stuck out was the poverty part and how like people sometimes make decisions that they might not make if they were comfortable with their money situation. Also, obviously it's set in the 1930s, so kind of the role of a woman of that time. So yeah, all those things were really interesting. The first love kind of, you know, multiple potential love interest situation, I really enjoyed. I did not expect what happened like near the end. The ending was such that, you know when you're like at the characters and at the author, like, yeah, you did well, like that's wise, but at the same time, like, not everything wrapped up super nicely. So yeah, like objectively it's a good ending. You know, the reader might feel like they wanted something more, but yeah, I'm quite happy with the ending. Like in the end, like such a mature choice on Cassandra's side, like that is, I wasn't that wise at 17. I also really like the setting and the atmosphere with the descriptions. Like I can't still picture like the castle and all of the parts, but maybe that's on me. But yeah, all of the nature descriptions and like music discussions, all of that was really nice. So overall, I think I'm rating it 4 stars. I'm really glad I finally picked it up. I think it's a modern classic that has something to say to this day. So yeah, I'm still shocked that it hasn't been translated into Czech. So I'm really glad I got to know about it because of BookTube. So that is done. Now that it's already like the 7th of December, I actually want to jump into my Christmas books, but I still want to finish this little mini project. So yeah, I hope to get We Have Always Lived in the Castle done either tonight, maybe, but like I'm working the whole day, so we will see, or tomorrow, and then jump into the Christmas books. Because like last year I was also doing a project, but that was a much larger project. Last year this time I was doing the TBR0 project, and that actually ended like on the 14th of December, so then I had even less time for Christmas books. So this year it isn't even so bad. So yeah, we will knock off We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and I will update you once I have read something. Hello, it's the next day, and for the rest of the video we will be rocking this outfit because I'm still sick and my hair isn't washed. And so yeah, and I also filmed the intro in this outfit because I haven't filmed the intro. But anyway, last night I finished We Have Always Lived in a Castle. I read it on Kindle. Reading these castle books ended up being a bit funny because this took me 3 weeks and put me in a little bit of a slump. And this book I read in one evening, but it was a bit of a pain, unfortunately. So before I started reading We Have Always Lived in a Castle, I just looked up some basic stats. So it was published in 1962 and it's American, which probably most people know, but I really don't know anything about Shirley Jackson, so this is not going to be like an analysis where I like match things from the book with her life, which some of the people are doing on a Goodreads, so you know, if interested, you know where to go. But it is a novella or a short novel. It has around 150 pages and it is told in first person, and we follow this 18-year-old girl named Mary, who is nicknamed Mary Cat, and we learn that she lives with her sister and her sick uncle in this big castle. And basically, like 6 years ago, all of her other family members died during their dinner, and her sister Constance was actually arrested for the murder but then was acquitted. And then they just continued to live there, just the three of them, and basically all of the people from the village hate them. So every week Mary Cat goes to the village to get groceries and to get library books, and yeah, the villagers kind of bully her. So this was basically the whole first third. Like, we just learned this and she went to the village and nothing happened. Like, we just learned about Mary Cat's like routines and thoughts. She kind of had violent thoughts towards these villagers, etc. And then finally something happened, and that is that their cousin named Charles came to the house and suddenly, you know, was very interested in the house because they had some valuables there. And yeah, so their routine is disrupted and Mary Cat doesn't like it, and so she starts plotting what to do about that. And yeah, so that's like half of the book. So the whole book has these sinister vibes. There aren't really any like horror things happening. Like, it's not scary like per se. It's just that it's very sinister, kind of sad, very character driven, very bizarre, and I don't know, I think it just wasn't for me. And yeah, maybe I didn't get it. Like, as it was, for me it just wasn't enjoyable at all. Like, I can appreciate some of the literary merit and maybe it would be fun analyzing like in class, but for me, like, a classic should be also enjoyable on its own. Like, I read so many classics and so many of them were enjoyable, and this just yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. It was quite painful. Maybe I'm giving it like 3 stars or 2 stars, we will see. The last third was the best part, and yeah, it's good that it was so short and that I was able to read it during one evening, because like, if I wasn't reading it like for a project, or if it went so short, I would probably DNF it. Also, like, it might be weird, like so many people are saying it is disturbing, like it is, but at the same time, like in the last part I almost found like the sister relationship between what's her name, Constance and Mary, like almost weird. Like you know, like they stick together like no matter what. So yeah, there is that. It's kind of the case of I didn't enjoy it, but I'm still glad I read it because it's classic, so you know, I learned about it and that's good. It might also be the kind of thing that you appreciate it more the more you think about it, or maybe like once you read something about it, or maybe like when you consume it again one day, maybe in some other format. So yeah, definitely glad I encountered it, but yeah, the enjoyment could have been better. So to wrap this video up, let's do some quick little stats facts about these two books, so that I and also you never confuse them again, if you also did like I did. Okay, so I Got to the Castle, We Have Always Lived in the Castle. So British, American, 1948, 1962, 17-year-old main character, 18-year-old main character, diary style narration, first person narration, romantic comedic vibes, sinister sad vibes, enjoyable, boring, no, that's mean, But anyway, that will be all for this video. Let me know if you have read any of these books, if you have some books that you keep confusing with each other, and what do you think about the concept of this video series. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!